All right, a couple of heavyweight fights taking place tonight on two separate cards that I am somewhat interested in. This one I've already talked about, but I'll just give you my thoughts on the weigh-in, and that is the Daniel Dubois Tom Little fight. And there's also this fight here, which is on the undercard of uh, Taylor versus Postal, and that is Martin Bakole versus D.O. Jones. But first of all, let's start off with this one. Dubois weighed in at 236 pounds, which is 16 stone 12 in English money. And his opponent, Tom Little, weighed in at 250 pounds, which is 17 stone 12. So 14 pounds or 1 stone exactly between them in weight. Little appears to be the slightly taller man, but as I've said previously, Dubois looks like he's got the longer arms. Some people are saying that Dubois looked a little nervous at the weigh-in. He was taking some very deep breaths and looking like he was trying to control nerves. As long as the nerves do get controlled, then it's neither here nor there. When he's got an opponent like Tom Little talking so much smack and saying all this kind of stuff, it might get a rise out of Daniel Dubois. It might throw him off his game plan. It might, distract him a little bit mentally. Then again, it might not. This is the test. You see, Tom Little doesn't really represent a physical test as much as he does a mental test. Because you can end up losing or struggling with someone who is nowhere near as good as you if the person can get into your head and get you off your game plan, particularly when you're a young man who isn't that experienced in life, never mind experienced in boxing. So we'll see how well Daniel Dubois holds it together. Like most people, I'm expecting Daniel Dubois to win, of course, and I'm expecting him to win decisively. But if he didn't, would I be that shocked? Not really. Not given his age and whatnot, and given the fact that he's such an enigma, a very shy person who gives very little away. You just don't know what's going on in his head and how confident he really is and how intelligent he really is. My experience in this sport is that the best fighters are generally sharp-minded. And with somebody like Daniel Dubois who gives nothing away, you don't know whether he's sharp-minded or he's not. You don't know whether he's a quiet genius or whether his head is actually vacuous. You really have no idea. We'll just have to find out by the way his career unfolds in the ring with his performances. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing this fight, to see how Daniel Dubois does. Most people are expecting a blowout, actually. Perhaps it will be. We'll see. But Tom Little will certainly come into fight at least. So we'll see what happens with someone who does have some type of boxing skill and confidence in himself. We'll see how he does against Dubois. So moving over to the second heavyweight fight on the Josh Taylor Victor Postal undercard. Martin Bakole versus D.O. Jones. Now, D.O. Jones is, I'm not expecting him to win this fight. Let's be real. But Martin Bakole is a heavyweight who a lot of people have been talking about. There have been a lot of sparring rumors. I love a sparring rumor, but there's been a lot of sparring rumors about Martin Bakole actually making Daniel Dubois quit in sparring. That's what some people are claiming. There's also talk that he did very well in sparring against Tyson Fury and many other domestic British heavyweights. Bakole is actually the brother of Ilunga Makabu, the man who Tony Bellew defeated to capture the WBC Cruiserweight World title. He's originally from Congo. He's much bigger than his brother, Ilunga Makabu. I would have to estimate is maybe around 6'5", 6'6", so he's a big man, Martin Bakole. D.O. Jones, I think, is 6'5", is he? Let me just check Ilunga Makabu's record. It doesn't say Makabu's height on his record. Yeah, D.O. Jones is 6'5", so I would imagine Bakole's around the same height, around 6'5", so he's a big heavyweight. I was a little disappointed with the weight that he came in at for this fight, 270 pounds. For his previous couple fights, he was in the mid 240s to the high 240s, and that's, I think, a good weight for him. There was a fight here back in 2015. He weighed 229 pounds. That was in South Africa. That was really light for him. And the early fights in his career, there's no weight given at all. But he hasn't really fought anybody as a professional, but he's got this cult following, I guess, of people who think he's really good. One thing I will say is that I was quite impressed with the way he dispatched of Dominic Akinlade, because Akinlade, even though he's only an area level fighter, he is tough. And just to give you an example of how tough Akinlade is, in his fight prior to facing Bakole, he fought Nathan Gorman, and that fight went the distance. Yeah, Nathan Gorman never even came close to stopping Dominic Akinlade. But just one fight later, Akinlade fights Bakole, and he gets blitzed in a round. Okay, and you know Nathan Gorman is highly regarded as a prospect. He went 10 rounds with Akinlade. Bakole knocks him out in 1 round. And he didn't manage to drop Akinlade. Akinlade's never been down, as far as I'm aware, as a professional. And Akinlade was a tough guy even as an amateur. You know, he boxed out at the Fitzroy Lodge gym in South London as an amateur, and he was tough even then. And so he's taken that toughness through the pros. He never actually went down in the Bakole fight, but he was seriously staggered, and he was pretty much helpless on the ropes, taking a lot of shots. So it was a good stoppage. But that's the only real... I mean, I recognize a couple of the names, like... Who else here? Mazarek, Sokolovsky. I know those two. They're just journeymen, obviously. Stopped Mazarek in 3. Beat Sokolovsky on points. Ali Baguz, no idea who that is, but he knocked him out in a round in his last fight. But yeah, his weight, a little disappointing coming in at 270. But he is a big man, so he don't look crazy bad at 270. But you would like to see that weight come down a bit. Will this weight give DL Jones any kind of chance in this fight? I guess we'll see. But this fight really is a showcase opportunity for Martin Bakole. That's all it is, really. It's not really about a competitive fight as such. It's just about seeing what Martin Bakole has and what he can do on Channel 5. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about these 2 heavyweight fights taking place tonight. What do you expect the results to be? Who do you think is going to look most impressive? Do you think there's a potential for an upset in either one? Drop it all in the comments, people. It's Satman, I'm out.